What it do, baby? We back, boys. Episode 5 on the rocks. I want to thank everybody that's been tuning in. We really appreciate all the love and support. If you haven't followed us already, you can hit us up on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. We have all our listings there, all of our handles there. Please hit the notifications button so you can turn on all notifications. And like, comment, subscribe, guys. That's all we ask for. Show some love. Gio, what we drinking today, fam?
Yo, we are drinking that Jack Daniels, little Jack and Coke. Okay. Delicious. That was a Coke bottle.
Not bad, guys.
No problem.
A classic.
Everybody, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. That table.
Some battle damage on the table.
I'll clean it.
What are we talking about today, Reggie?
Before we continue, guys, make sure you have all your cell phones to vibrate. Carl, put your vibrator to cell phone mode. Today we're talking about a couple things, guys. We're gonna talk about which decade had the best music. That's gonna be one of our topics. I think everybody's gonna have a pretty different take on that, so it's gonna be pretty interesting to hear. We also have our Florida man as usual for the Florida man of the day, and we're gonna talk about if your significant other cheats on you, what is the best revenge for them? I want to hear some of these crazy answers. But let's go into the first thing. We're talking about music. Gio, talk about like what do you think is the best decade for music?
It's the 80s for me.
Why do you say the 80s?
Prince, Michael Jackson, EDM started in the 80s. Disco was still kind of a thing in the 80s. Pop was originating and becoming the greatest thing in the world.
Greatest thing in the world.
Yes.
Pop
was amazing.
So
Wham! I could just keep going.
Pop is,
rock and roll is still a thing.
I feel like pop's the most common music right now.
You're going to say popular. You're going to put a pun.
It's the most popular. Pop is the most common like genre of music. I feel like right now. Like if you're not I'm not talking about like our like demographic as far as like our age group, but like if you're talking about like everybody, I feel like it is.
You don't feel like hip hop is the most popular music then?
No, I feel like it's very popular, especially now with like social media, with like TikToks and all that. Like a lot of like hip hop music has become like super popular with the whole dance moves and all that stuff. Yes,
hip hop started in the 80s.
If you, I feel like if you like bring that like hip hop genre on versus pop music to, let's say like a 60-year-old grandma, and you're like showing a picture of a hip hop artist, or like let's say I don't know, like Justin Bieber. Like they're gonna know who Justin Bieber is before.
If she says Run
I
DMC,
doubt either one.
She's got respect in my book.
I feel like the only reason why that happens is because I feel like hip hop right now, which is the complete opposite of before, like lives shorter than it does before. Like if you're a top notch hip hop artist right now, I feel like your lifespan as far as how long you're gonna be popular is shorter than what you would be than before, like in the maybe 90s or early 2000s.
Well, I don't know. Kevin, what decade you would say?
For me, it's the 90s. The 90s produced probably some of the best hip hop ever created.
It's the start of hip hop.
The 80s were the start. We already said the 80s were the start of hip hop.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
The 80s were the start of hip hop, obviously, but the 90s just changed hip hop. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with a lot more of like the gangster rap and hood rap.
All right.
Obviously R&B was huge in the 90s as well.
Very.
Even pop was big in the 90s as well. Like, so honestly, the 90s were just a time for like growth with everything with culture.
I wouldn't disagree with it. You're talking to someone who loves grunge.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite things to listen to growing up. But
that's true.
Bro, the 90s was just it was just time to be alive in the 90s. That's what it is. Like if you grew up in the 90s,
it was.
Yeah, I feel like
90s brought all the vibes. I just feel like let me get like 90s it did have all the vibes for real. Like I want to give an honorable mention just to like the 70s just cause the funk was so passionate, bro. Like I love the 70s, man. Because like if I would have grown up and like if it would be a singer during the time and sing during the 70s, I probably would have been that guy. Like, cause it's like you could have been like the Isley Brothers. You could have been Earth, Wind and Fire. You could have been
Earth, Wind and Fire. Those,
remember?
So you rather sing in the 70s?
I rather, you know why? Cause it had more feeling. I feel you could like you could dance to it, you could vibe to it. This
I get
and
that.
You know, like that was maybe. That's an honorable mention.
I agree with Reggie on that. Like if I had to be, alright. So like there's one where like what was the best decade? Alright, that's a different thing. That's what we're talking about now. Yeah. If I had to like choose to be an artist in a decade, I feel like I'll be the 70s. '70s, like you. Like there's just so much
No,
like
but
feeling and like.
I feel like it depends on
soul,
what
like,
genre you choose. Cause
That too, yeah.
and as a singer, I guess
I
I
guess.
can see the '70s.
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie to you. As a singer, being in like the early 2000s though, as a singer, that's when
Yeah.
like R&B was like
When you had, like,
was
Babyface.
literally, like,
It
taking
depends.
off,
Okay, so
right?
yeah, it depends on what kind of genre you feel like.
That's true,
What
that's true.
genre you would fall into. I can see that.
Yeah, 'cause
like
you singing
not
in the
all
2000s.
genres were the same genres are
Singing in the
available in the early
2000s, like,
2000s and the
That's
70s.
baby
I mean,
making
yeah,
music.
Yeah, you had Usher,
Yeah.
you had even in the '90s.
That was early late
Kelly.
90s, early 2000s. That's
Kevin,
the
we don't
problem.
talk about R.
In
Kelly.
'90s R. Kelly,
Between.
'90s R. Kelly was he was
He
the king
was.
of, he was the king of R&B at that
He
point.
was.
That was
He
early
was
2000s though. I feel like
No,
no,
Most of it was early 2000s.
the 90s was when he made like
He was dropping bangers in the 90s too.
I feel like it's early 2000s.
I mean,
No,
look
he
at
continued.
no he continued.
look
yeah.
at the 2000s in hip hop. There was a lot
No, it was
going on
very-
in the
yeah.
2000s in hip hop.
So it's, yeah, the 2000s,
Eminem.
yeah, 2000s and hip. Well, I mean, he started in the 90s.
In 90s too.
Yeah, he started in the
Exactly.
90s, yeah.
No, where he really blew up was like early 2000s.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
I'm talking about like early. Now
So-
when someone started when they blew up, yeah.
Nelly,
He started
50
with
Cent.
Dre. He started with Dre, but if you do like Eminem in the early 2000s, that's where.
But you
like,
got to think
Eminem
too. Without
started.
like Eminem
for
coming,
real.
Eminem really starting in the 2000s. Imagine he wouldn't have been there if there wasn't Dre, if there wasn't Snoop and those guys. Like that kind of stuff comes from the
80s.
80s.
But
That transition, that is so. You know, a lot of people say that
But
hip hop is
even-
dead. Do you really feel like that you can say hip hop is gonna die or is
Yeah.
dead with
It's,
the
it's
way?
not that hip hop is dead. Hip hop is changed.
It's changed. I
And
would say
even
changed.
even hip hop artists say that right now that it's not as dead. It's just different.
It's very
It's
different.
not about the lyrics anymore or anything like that.
I
Obviously,
saw-
you still have some rappers that do lyrics like J. Cole
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but it's really just about beats and
But
making
exactly.
it sound
So
good.
do you say? So would you say
I
that
think what's
hip
gonna
hop,
pop in the club.
for the most part, from what you grew up, for what you feel is good hip hop, do you feel is dead for you itself? Like for you on a personal level, I feel like it is somewhat dead for me on a personal level because like from what me at least for me hip hop was lyrical and that's why I've put like Eminem on my top whatever you want to say top 5 or whatever it is that is. Like I feel Eminem is top 5. Of
I
all
wouldn't
time.
say-
because on a lyrical level, like I feel most people wouldn't be able to. I mean, lyrical flow, like everything put together. I feel like there wasn't much technical touch to that.
I don't know if it says dead for me because I feel like even now there are still like you can quote unquote new school hip hop or hip hop rappers that are still kind of bringing that feel that I had from before. Like you could tell about like Logic to me is still a very good rapper. J. Cole is still a very good rapper. You know, and those are guys that like that trend. They kind of bring the old school vibe to the time now. You know, there are a lot of guys that maybe you don't vibe with. Like there are a lot of new school rappers that you might not like, but there are a lot of guys still in the game that are kind of giving you that same old
J.
flow.
Cole had stopped. No, he didn't stop.
He just dropped a new
Dropped
album.
a new album.
New album?
Yeah.
I thought he had stopped. Like
I mean,
a while
he's gonna
ago.
play basketball right now.
Yeah, he's playing
but-
basketball now.
Everybody playing basketball. I want to go play basketball too.
Carl, don't nobody want to see your old
You
ass.
saw me. You
Bro,
saw me.
Carl has
Luke
one hop
Skywalker.
step that looks ugly as hell, like the ugliest hop step. in the
Nah,
world.
don't tell me. Number
Here's
one,
what- here's it.
Sean Marin had an ugly shot.
But you have an ugly hop
Did he
step.
make it? And it doesn't matter as long as it works. I made a use. I don't even want to talk about it, but that's fine.
No, I know you want to talk about it. I know you want to talk about the Skywalker.
Let it rip,
Yeah,
Carl.
Let me
Skywalker. All right.
tell you guys
so,
a quick story. What
yes.
happened? We were
So,
playing
here's
ball
story. Go ahead.
years. We were playing ball years ago. Let me say this. Let me emphasize. Years ago, Carl is not the same guy he was
You
years
don't know,
ago.
I can train.
His
can't.
knees don't work the
You
way.
can't.
The train.
A ball went up. I remember somebody shot the ball and Carl went up for a rebound. And I'm not gonna lie. You know when you have an out of body experience that is like, yeah, that's what happened to you. You had more lift than I think you even thought. You went up for a rebound.
That's why I fell on the
and I
ground.
looked
after
and I was
that.
like, oh damn, Carl got up there, but you came down crashing pretty hard too.
I
So
fell on my back.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
didn't
Like it's
expect
just
it.
Carl.
That
just-
shows you that I can still do
Carl,
it.
have you done that since?
Have you done that since?
Probably not.
Let me train.
You
Let
weren't
me
training
train.
like that at that time either.
Give me
though.
365 days to train.
That's
And I
not-
go-
can't.
I could play-
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel like, you know how they always say too with music, everything kind of comes full circle.
Yeah.
You remember how
Yeah.
before like vinyls were not a thing? Like I mean, they're going out of style now. Now
nah,
vinyls are coming
it
back in
came
style.
They're
back.
expensive.
Yeah, they are expensive, bro.
$18
Do you feel like
for
music in itself can come around full circle? Do you feel like,
Yeah.
like let's start from like even the beginning. Like let's say the '60s. Do you feel like doo-wop and that kind of group like Temptation scene can come back and make a
No.
comeback? Do you feel like the '70s like funk can make a comeback, Kevin? Do you feel like the 80s?
I mean, at the end of the day, you also have to remember that a lot of the stuff that came out then, and a lot of the beats and a lot of the are all featured in music now.
Yeah, it's not that it comes back; it just gets used. Like
it gets
sampled.
recycled.
I agree.
It's not gonna come back because unfortunately that time
you can't make
gone.
the same music, but you can always do something with it.
I think the only person that has probably like bring back like that old type of field is what's his name? Bruno Mars.
Yes.
When his latest song he came out, like that's probably the oldest, like that. It gives you like that old feel.
That's true.
But it's a new song.
Yeah, that's why.
But he's like one of the only artists that can probably do that.
Yeah, I feel like that's why people compared, and I've heard in a few places like people like compared Bruno Mars. Obviously, again going back to like our other podcast, but they compared him to like the modern day Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
he has some dance moves. He has the lyrics. I feel the flow. Is like kind of somewhat like a modern day Michael Jackson. Not exactly. I mean, again, I'm a huge fan of Michael Jackson, but I feel like that's where it's at. I mean, is it gonna come back around? It's tough. I mean, history does repeat itself. I feel I'm a believer that history will repeat itself.
you all right, man?
Yeah. I'm go with something else.
You're doing that thing again. You're doing that thing again.
I feel like it will.
But you wanna know what's crazy, Carl? You still haven't told us what's your favorite.
Yeah,
Like,
you trying to like everybody's
it's
decade.
tough, man. Look, if there's somebody that's true to like all kind of music, I legit listen to every music, whether it be country or rap.
Okay.
Yeah, we all do.
Jazz.
We
like,
all
I
listen. I listen to
country
everything.
music?
Of course. I don't listen to country music.
when I listen to country
I don't.
music,
I don't go out
you guys
looking
make
to listen for country music. I don't do that.
all right, but
I'm
Carl, which
If
one
I
of
had
yours?
the thing is that it's a full
pick a decade, man.
It's tough.
It's
man.
got to be the decade with Achy Breaky Heart.
Like it's tough because I feel like the
He
best.
he likes
it's
the 50s.
like yeah, if you give me within 5 years, I would give you like the early 90s and the early 2000s. I feel like that's where the best thing is. If I have to give you a decade, I would put you at
5 years.
I know. That's why I'm saying I know it's not a within a 5 years.
You said
thing.
You said
early.
within
to
5
early.
years and
That's 10 years.
No, hold on. That's what I'm saying. I know it's not I know it's a decade, so that's a long. It's 10 years. That's a long time. It's tough to take
We're
10
going off what
years.
you just said.
I know. That's what I'm saying. For me, it's within either like, and then I have to see like that's my basis of my answer, and then I have to see like the back half of those 5 years, as far as what's gonna be better. I would have to put early 2000s.
Okay.
I would have to put early 2000s. I mean, again, we're not extremely old. I feel like maybe if we were maybe 5 to 10 years older, we can maybe completely enjoy the early 2000s, and maybe we can.
What are you talking about?
Nah, early
you
2000s
can
is
get-
over.
I enjoyed the early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
I love the early
Hold on.
2000s.
Okay, you can really enjoy the early 2000s, but like live in it. Where like you lived into in the early 2000s, as far as like
Early
That's nothing because
current events and stuff like
because
that. And
Gio said that his decade was the 80s and he wasn't even born.
yeah, but I mean
in
that's
the
him.
80s.
That's him. Maybe he,
Okay, but he
took it on
enjoys
a
the
different
music
level
now.
that I took it on to.
The music can hold its timeless, like holds value to now. You don't necessarily enjoy it at that time.
I would have to say early 2000s. Though.
Okay.
I mean, theoretically,
I'd
you
put
enjoyed it at that time.
Yeah, I still enjoy the music.
I would have
You
to put
enjoyed
early
it at that time.
2000s.
Yeah.
Tell us what you guys think. We want to hear it in the comments.
Yeah,
What do
I
you
mean-
guys think is your favorite decade?
I feel like the 90s was a gateway for most of the early 2000s. I mean, it's just like where you put same thing as like Jordan and like current day basketball players. You have to put like Kobe Bryant, number
R.I.P.
2 of all time for me. I love LeBron and Miami, the Heat, the Real 5, whatever, but Kobe Bryant. I know. Hey, they signed him. They signed him. I love Kobe. Hey, we have won without LeBron, it wouldn't have happened. But Kobe's number 2 for me. As far as what he modeled his play around is Kobe. Well, if you had to put LeBron on the same thing, they modeled. I'm sorry. Kobe modeled his thing around MJ. If they had to do the same thing with LeBron, he probably modeled his thing around MJ. Like everybody modeled around that. Early 2000s, they modeled their hip hop around the early 90s.
Let me ask one question. Now that we were talking about a lot of the different decades of music, and I know you guys all saw that Drake got announced Artist of the Decade. Do you feel like
I can agree with that.
that's the right answer to
Early
give?
Yeah.
2000s to now?
No.
I mean,
the
late
decade.
2000s, like 2010 to now?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been the most consistent, I would say.
He's the most consistent. Without consistent, if you can talk about consistency, yeah, absolutely.
You feel like I feel like you have somebody that you want to argue.
Who
like
would you
who would
say?
you put
No,
other than Drake?
I don't think I can argue with that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, that's like
Because
talking about, like,
features
right
wise,
now,
his
I'm
own
talking
solo
about, like,
stuff,
Everything he had
can
was
rap,
banger
he
after
can
banger
sing,
after banger.
He can collab with anybody. I think like Drake. It's very rare. I can't name 5 Drake songs I think that I don't like.
I mean, so going. I mean, yeah. It's
I don't
like,
think-
I know there's Drake songs that I don't like. I just don't know the
Yeah,
names. I don't like them.
There's just so many more bangers.
That's
There's just so many more bangers. It's crazy.
I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like 2005. Yeah, I mean it's. So you're talking about genre music.
Drake came out like in 2008.
For the most part, I feel like we're talking about like hip hop. If you're talking about other genre music,
You didn't have to stick to hip hop.
I didn't say hip hop.
No, I know
It's
what
an
I'm saying.
artist of the
So
decade.
I was thinking about just hip hop for now.
Carl,
It's
you have
tough.
to think that a
It's
decade is in
tough.
2005.
I mean, I feel like it's one of those questions where, I mean, we can't come up with these questions without knowing what most people are gonna like. Well, what I'm gonna like think about. I feel like it's one of those things like I have to like do research to completely give you an answer, because you'd have to see like there's things where growing up in high school, where high school for me at least.
Carl's gonna have to get a
Carl,
chalkboard and a
you
formula
didn't go to
to
high
figure
school
this out,
in
bro.
this last decade.
No, yeah, I graduated. I graduated the last decade.
I feel like with this topic, it all depends. Like
So yeah, I'm gonna stick. Also, hold on. I'm my bad, Kev. I'm gonna have to stick with the 2000s. I am. I feel like there's a lot of like rock. I mean, depends on what kind of rock you're into and stuff. But I feel like there's like My Chemical Romance, like punk rock. I feel as far as like I was into in high school and stuff like that. I feel like there's a lot of like music in that genre. So I feel like it's close. It's close.
And with that, it's time for Florida Man.
There you go.
So this one is Florida man arrested for calling 911 after his kitten was denied entry into a strip club. The pussy wanted to see some pussy, man.
Hold on a second.
Kitten?
Oh, I heard his kidneys. What I heard you say.
I heard
Oh.
Gato.
Not her
His
kitten.
kitten.
Look-
Is it a service kitten?
no.
Can you have a
On
service
June
cat?
5th,
You can have a service cat.
47-year-old Everett, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to say Lages, was arrested outside of the Emerald City Strip Club in Murdoch, Florida. He continuously called
know what that
911
Murdoch,
after the
Florida is
club's
Murdoch.
owner denied him entry because Lages had a kitten. Yes, a baby cat.
They didn't let him in the strip club. He had some pussy in his hand.
Apparently, he called 911 like over and over and over.
At
saying
what
that they won't let him
time
in.
was that? At what month? The time?
I got June 5th.
June. It was hot in the car. You couldn't just leave the kitten in the car.
Or you could have left it at home.
The pussy wanted to see some pussy, guys.
He should have left it in the car. Maybe he lived
In the car? No, at home.
I mean, at home.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
also
Maybe
like
he should have left it in the home.
A small
like,
little kitten you have to kind of take care of all the time. So
we
maybe.
don't have the number.
So don't
To
go-
be fair,
don't
he
go
was
to
very
strip club.
wasted.
I mean, don't go to the strip club. Yeah, but
To be fair, he was very
What?
wasted.
It said that? He
He
was
was
wasted?
heavily intoxicated.
Heavily
I-
intoxicated? So
I
yeah,
would
so
assume
no, then
so.
I don't give him the okay for it.
well,
I mean, he didn't have the okay in general. Like, he
Yeah.
shouldn't
What are you
have gone
doing
to
bringing a
strip
cat to a strip club, man? There's enough cats in there.
It's a service kitten. You don't know.
he wasn't a service.
There's enough cats in the strip club, Carl.
club. And that place, that strip club probably was ass. Yeah. That probably wasn't even a good strip
Murdoch,
club.
Florida.
I've
I'm
never
out
heard
of
of
here,
that.
bro. That sounds off. Do they have the name of the strip club there?
Yeah, it was called the Emerald City Strip Club, I think.
That sounds like some old pussy in that
old
strip club.
pussy.
Emerald City?
Emerald City.
No. I'm not going
Yeah.
there to see some ass and titties. No, thank you.
I mean, I
The,
feel
yeah,
like, I
Emerald
mean, don't
City
get me
Strip
wrong.
Club.
I mean, yeah, it's a kitten. So more than likely, that thing was smaller than like a bottle of Coke. So you don't know.
You
That's
don't know
not
what?
That's
I
not
mean, it's
fair.
a kitten. It's a kitten. The kitten, as far as for me, is.
Can you
is
imagine, like he's getting a lap
baby
dance
cat.
and the cat's like, they're like, meow.
I think that's-
She started licking.
I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people don't like cats like that. Cause like maybe what if he had like a small puppy? I feel like puppies can get you
Now,
a lot of
hold
attention.
on. But I'm saying, all right. So let's move it around. Let's say he had a little puppy.
That's what I just said,
Okay,
Carl.
would they bring? Hold on, but that's what I'm saying.
I just said
Hold
that.
on, but
Take the
would
drink
you
away
think-
from
Hold
him.
on, but let me. That's not my question. Let's say he had a puppy. Would they? You think they'll allow him in without like a service certificate or nothing? He had a little puppy.
A certificate of authenticity.
No, Carl,
It's
they
like-
wouldn't allow them in.
All right,
Dogs
that's
are
what I'm
not
saying.
allowed in. Animals are not allowed in the strip
So then
club.
what I'm saying, he said that
They
most
let you in
people
the
would
strip
like
club?
puppies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got money.
So
No.
he said most people allow they're like most people allow puppy like puppies. So you think they would allow him in if he had a
Unfortunately, no. The only thing I ever see like probably would come in a strip club would be a snake because some
snake?
girls do that little show with a snake.
Yeah.
A
Yeah, but
puppy or
that's
anything
a
like that.
trained
No,
Or like you
not
said,
really.
if it was like a service animal, then
Even still,
no,
Like,
that's
I-
not fair.
like I guess you can. it's a gray area. Like,
What if you have
that's
a,
one of
What
those,
comforting do you need at a
'cause
strip
no,
club?
what if you have a blind seeing eye, dog, and you want to go? I mean, you're not see, but you just feel some ass and titties, and that's your way of going to the strip
they're
club.
gonna send you a dude.
They're like, hey, you don't need the dogs. I'll have somebody show you.
He's like, hey,
I'll have
your-
someone walk you
Your
around.
clitoris is real big. Like, what's happening? What's happening down here? That's disgusting.
Are those your keys? Are those your keys? Or are you just happy to see
Oh
me?
my god! Are you put on a show on stage? Is that a cucumber that you put in your? Are you putting a cucumber in your?
I
I
vagina?
can't tell. Is
Guys.
she whipping her titties out?
Or they're gonna send the ugliest girl ever to dance with you.
They're gonna show him like they would like bring him some random person.
Some new talent.
Thanks, Carl.
Yeah. I don't know if you know for the blind, they're all random.
No, you don't know that. Maybe they have some kind of
Damn lady.
honor system.
They
or
have braille on their chest, Carl.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn lady, that ass feels nice. Thank
Camila
you.
come to the stage and he feels it. Go, oh, this Camila. I feel the braille. I feel it.
They got name tags on.
He's probably one of those guys that he brought that cat to everywhere, like CVS, car dealership, wherever he was going. He was coming with that cat, and he just ended
He
up.
took
on
a
that.
chance.
I mean, he was heavily intoxicated.
And the cat looked at him. He's like, "Bro, what are we gonna do after this? I don't know, man. I want to go see some titties."
I want to know the cop that was on the dispatcher who took that phone call. Did they actually send cops out for this?
They did. They
have
arrested
to, yeah.
him.
They
They arrested him. Okay. they
Yeah,
arrested
he
him.
was really drunk, and they're like, "Yo, you
Yeah,
called
probably
911
They're
to
like,
his
yo, somebody go check on
He
this guy,
called
please.
911 multiple times. He's like, "Yo, like they won't let me in here with my pussy, man.
I'm trying to get in, and they're not letting me.
My pussy's out, but they don't let me in."
Oh my god, bro. That's our Florida man, bro. Let me tell you. And next topic, guys. Let's talk about like if your significant other were to cheat on you, what would be the best revenge?
I'm taking a shit on her pillow.
That's disgusting.
That's damn like that.
Huge
Oh.
dookie. Like after I ate Taco Bell.
Ew.
Don't fuck with me.
That's not shit. That's diarrhea.
Nah, I think we know
If
what
you're
I
gonna
would
go
do.
like that, go full
I
steam.
would
take a-
do
take a
like I would break
laxative.
up with her and then do what I see on World Star and on Instagram where the guy's like inconveniencing her, but like in little ways.
Oh, you mean
I'm
like
taking the
little
toilet
ways.
seat cover. I'm gonna take the doorknob off your door.
Yeah.
swap the batteries out, put them in backwards, and then remote
Swap
control.
all the batteries in the fire alarms. I can tell you right now. Personally.
Carl, you're the pro at that.
Stay tuned for those bloopers. Kevin, what do you think you would do?
What would I do?
I feel like you. In his mind, he's contemplating all different ideas.
Kevin's been planning for this for the last 25 years. He's like, I've been waiting this. Let me pull out the paper. He pulls up paper out of his back pocket.
If
And
a
just-
girl
If
cheats
you-
on me,
Yeah.
I'll try to fuck a friend. I'll try to fuck a friend.
Yo.
Shit.
Actually, you know what's funny? I heard the best thing right here. It wasn't not even fuck her friend. I was watching a video today on Instagram. It's like, don't fuck her friend. Fuck her new man's sister. So now you can be at the family.
Oh my god, bro. That's awful. That's
I'm
awful.
back.
But nah, I don't know. Honestly, I probably literally what I do. I probably just focus on myself. Fuck that. That's kind of make her show her what.
What if you fuck her mom?
Oof, I wish.
You guys are like thinking about like some crazy.
You got to like in that moment. You do think about those
You're
situations.
hurt, Carl.
Like, you're hurt. You're like, yo, fuck
man.
this. Like, all right, she wants to cheat on me. I'm gonna fuck her best friend.
I feel like too, it's two different types of like hate too. If you like find out that she cheated on you, or like versus catching her in the act of cheating. Imagine coming home.
I feel like it's the same. I mean, I guess it's the same, but it's not the same to a small
No,
extent.
catching an act is worse.
Catching the act
If-
is worse.
Say you're living with this chick and she fucks in your bed.
But I feel, yeah, but that's like, I feel like what you would do
I'm burning
if you
those
ca-
sheets.
if you catch her is like one of those instinct like things. Like it's not like one of those you have to plan.
Alright,
for.
So I'm saying
this is not an instant thing. You know that she cheated on you. What would you do?
Yeah.
Carl.
Probably cry in a corner.
You probably pick on his guitar and start.
Making songs. I'm so lonely.
Damn.
What did you do, Carl?
Nah, I mean,
Mr.
the best thing you can do is just honestly is just move on, man. And you just move on and then just show her that she did the wrong thing. That's what it is. I mean, you guys want to say it's that's the wrong answer or
No,
whatever.
it's not the wrong answer.
But you just
I
show
mean-
her. You show her that she did the wrong thing. That's all it is.
I'll show you.
Never been there or whatever, but like
I'll show
whatever.
you. I'm gonna be a better person.
Like, you just gotta show her. You know, just fuck that shit, man. You just gotta move on. Is what it
Just
is.
be bigger than the situation, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I've always been like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, I probably would I'd be upset, man. I mean, obviously you'd be upset,
Yeah, you'd be upset, but
but I feel like me personally, I just forget. Like you realize that I'm the kind of person I live by. I'd rather break up with you before I cheat on you. You know, and I've always lived by that. I've never cheated on any girl that I've been with.
Yeah, and I agree.
That's why it would be
it's
worse.
fucked up.
If you live by that, and that the girl that you're with cheats on you,
that's
100% worse. That's
I know it's worse, but I still like. I mean, I guess maybe because it's never happened to me. I don't know. Like, Carl, I'm talking.
Go ahead.
I feel like never. I don't know if it's ever happened to me. If any of my exes have ever cheated on me, maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But I never found out about it or nothing like that. But if I knew something like that happened, I guess it would have to be in that moment to know how I'd feel. I know I'm saying now I would be like, man, I'm just gonna, like you're not even worth it if you're gonna cheat on me. Then like fuck you. But maybe I'll do something spiteful too. I know I'm petty to an extent that I will do something spiteful. Maybe I would like. I'm not shitting on her pillow.
I feel like that's way over the top.
That takes a lot of like.
I'm not shitting on her pillow.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
that's
that. You
don't know what'll happen right then and there at that moment.
If you do that, you might be the next Florida man.
I could be. I could be.
Like nowadays,
we will bring it up if that ever happens.
Man, I don't know. I feel like I feel like is the worst kind of like revenge. I feel like embarrassing somebody. I'll find a way to embarrass her. I don't know how. I can't think of something now, but something that would like embarrass her in public, like something that would happen to her, and people would just look at her and laugh, and make her feel bad, and just cry. Like, that's the kind of like revenge I would want. Something stupid
I don't know,
like
man.
that.
I feel like it's one of those things like where you just. Maybe I'm just looking at it wrong. Maybe we just think differently. I feel like it's one of those things that like if you figure it out and you find out at this age, like you just bit the bullet. You just got yourself out of a sticky situation. It would have been one of those things that would have caught you for years to come.
Oh, it's gonna be sticky, all right.
And you're like, damn. I feel like you beat. You beat. Like,
oh my god,
get it out. You beat the bullet. You just beat the situation. Like you just got yourself in a better situation. You know what I'm saying? Like if she cheat on you, I don't like fuck it. Like she wasn't worth it. You know what I mean?
You beat the situation.
You're gonna find somebody better, type of thing. You're like, I don't need somebody like that. Like I just figured it out. At least you figured it out earlier in your relationship versus being with somebody and you married somebody and then they cheat on you at that point. It just makes it worse.
We didn't say it could be in that situation too. Like you married this person and everything, and she cheats on you. What do you like?
You said your girlfriend.
No, I said significant other.
Significant other.
I thought you said your girlfriend.
Yeah, it could be.
Well, if you meet your significant other and they like.
Oh, so now the shit is
now-
starting. Now you're debating whether you shit on her pillow.
But you know what, man? Every situation.
Nobody's debating that, Gio. Nobody's debating that fact.
You're sticking with the shitting in your pillow and you get pink eye, and at that point you're gonna have to pay. They're gonna sue you for like.
I'm not thinking about pink eye. I'm thinking about it being a pain in the ass to clean that up.
Yo, do you shit on the pillow or in the pillowcase?
Oh.
Man, you shit on the pillow, get inside the pillowcase.
You're gonna have to grab that.
Puts her head on it and it just seeps.
Yo, you guys are sick, man. Yo, you guys are sick on a different level. Like,
she tries to fluff the pillow. She fluffs it and the shit comes flying out the pillow.
look, number one,
I'm shitting in the pillow. That's nasty.
Winning.
she gonna smile at the second she walk in the house. And if you poop, let's say like God forbid.
Bro, after a long day, she's ready to lay her head down. It's like,
But just a point.
God forbid.
You'll never think it's in the pillow.
All right, so like that's the thing. Like God forbid she has a dog. Like she's gonna blame it on the dog. Like
I'm gonna be honest. They know shit.
Are you walking? Trust me, because I've been in that situation.
You've been in a situation
My
where
dog-
shit in your pillow?
Like you have a dog where like my dog has pooped in the house. You stay too long out of the house. You got to work or whatever, and he pooped in the house.
So your dog
And you're
deliberately
like,
shits in a pillow.
You walk in the house and you're like, my dog pooped in the house. And at that point, you start looking for the poop. I mean, obviously you're gonna go into wherever he was at, and my dog when I
probably
leave the
stares
house
at Max.
is in a poop. You can see the poop. Trust me, it's a 150-pound dog. You're gonna find the poop. But she's gonna be looking for the dog is gonna get his ass whooped because of you.
Like real awkward if your girl
Mistakes
had no
need
pets.
to be made.
She's like,
Sacrifice.
did I flush the toilet when I left the house? Like,
I'm just imagining in my mind. She's trying to look around. She's like, "What's that fucking smell, bro?"
Yeah, right?
And she's turning up her
She's
whole
like,
room
"Fuck it, I'm going to
upside down,
bed."
and she turns the pillowcase over, and then it just comes out. Oh, it's nasty, bro. It's nasty. No, I want public humiliation.
I don't think you would.
With a little note that says,
I will
you know
put
what you
money.
did.
I would put money, Gio, if you had an ex, he did that, and you poop in the pillowcase, and you actually do that, come find me. I give you $100
Okay.
cash.
Okay.
Cash. You heard it
100
here
cash.
first, guys.
You heard it here first.
Take it, not a picture of video, because I want to make sure it's in the right.
You want to
place.
make sure, like, you want me to.
That's
like,
you in the moment.
10 seconds.
Opening
10
the
sec-
pillowcase.
No. I don't need you like doing the whole poop in the pillowcase. Like, after you did it, you're like video of the pillowcase. Like, hey, yo, I did this, and like that's it. 10 seconds. You're not gonna do it. You're not
I'm gonna do it.
You know. You
I
won't do
mean,
it.
I mean,
you have
he
to
has
put
to
in that
have.
situation. Let's not. Nobody wants to be in that situation.
Yeah,
You
we
have
don't.
to
Nobody
do
ever
it.
Yeah,
wants
hopefully
that.
none of you guys are in that situation. But yeah, it's just way too much. I don't think you're gonna be in that situation, man. That's just you're not gonna do that.
Well, let us know what you guys would do. Write it down in the comments.
Would you poop in the pillowcase?
Would you poop in that pillowcase? Or would
Yo,
you take the high ground?
I don't think so, man. I feel like
No,
your
I mean-
best.
I'm
ground-
thinking poop.
Poop is not the only. Shit is not the
No,
only.
I think
it's
your
not,
best-
yeah, I
it's
mean,
not the
yeah.
all ground only.
The best one. I feel. I mean, we'll have to go one by one, but
Fuck
I
your
feel
mom.
like again, your best one is to just step away from the relationship, and I feel like you won. At that point, you won. You figured it out, you know, and you step away and you
You said it now
get
to
it.
you
You
lonely.
step into
Show
a
me your
better
guitar.
situation. You
And you're strumming your guitar and you're
step into
making
a
that
better
song.
Situation, you get into a better
shit
situation.
in her
Your situation that's
pillow.
meant for you. That's all it is.
That's all it is, bro. Look, you walk away, you hit the gym again, you rub one out, and that's it, guys. Moving on.
Rub one out?
Rub one. You might have to rub a few out.
Rub a few out. It's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna be a long, like 2 to 3 months.
Nah.
Depending on the relationship.
It depends. Sometimes some guys they go out with the boys. Say, you know what, you singing now, you go out with the boys, and you get a little
No, but-
lit.
yeah,
and you
but-
become a savage for that night. You go might.
You can come out savage for that night, but when you come home by yourself, that drive home by yourself, you're like, damn, I'm drunk right
I'm
now.
fucking shitting her
And then,
pillow.
you know, next thing you know, Drake, you listen to Drake, like Marvin Room come on, and you're like,
Cups of rose, bitches in my whole phone, like that, bro. That's how the night will end for you, bro. Guys, that's the end of episode 5.
talking to the guitar right now. Look at me.
That's the end of episode 5 for us, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for episode 6 next week. We love y'all. Signing out. Peace.
Hey, cha.
See you guys.
Later, guys.